Lowest downwind. Cessna over the threshold, coming up on the white dot, at or beyond the white dot, left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half-mile final, clear to land at or beyond. Traffic on the left face, you're following a Cessna down, low off your left. Square it up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final, give me follow on base. Base traffic, start turning toward the numbers now. High wind coming up on quarter-mile final, take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green, expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed, there you go, go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final. You're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wind coming up on the threshold. Take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final, turn north, and we're going to just make you, we're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final. Runway 9er clear to land.
Okay, all right. Let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you to offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, we have one right in front of us, sir.
Dragger. Let's see. What we got? A tricycle. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tail dragger. Down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here. You cleared land on 9 all the way to the white dot. Go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Kennard, just come to the runway, and I might have to just send you around. That'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern, or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Kennard's going to have to go around. Kennard, go around. Kennard, go around. Kennard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. You do not descend. Do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. You can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, I lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the downwinds. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. Clear to land on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow out follow on the final. And as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to resequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the downwind? The Kennard?
Yeah, Kennard.
All right, Kennard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here, so just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Kennard's got the jet in sight.
Okay, the RB, maybe an RB10, whatever, here on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot, and I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there in about a 2-mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around.
Yeah, follow.
Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that. After 35 years, you would think, right? All right, so let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the trees there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. Put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep it.
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Hello!
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa there! Not quite sure what happened there. We begin the evening as we mean to carry on, and I guess that means welcome you. Hello and welcome to this Thursday evening's live stream. It's a bloody beautiful evening out there. Thank you for joining us. Well, what can I say? It's great to have you here, and we've got a very special guest for you later. I can see him in the green room now, so he's not giving us any stress. Hello, Thomas. Hope you're doing well. Okay, before any further ado, let's move on to our little SkyDemon tip. As you know, the live stream sponsored and supported by SkyDemon, for which we are hugely grateful. And so here is this tip. I think this one's Hannah Hart. Here you go. Nope. That was the wrong button. Let's try this one. I think this one's Hannah Hart.
Hi, I'm Hannah from SkyDemon, and this is today's top tip. During your flight, you might want to pan around to inspect other areas of the map. If your own aircraft symbol's off the screen, you'll see this little yellow arrow showing how far away you are, with a countdown timer which will automatically pan back after 15 seconds. If you don't want to wait, just tap the arrow. For more information on using SkyDemon, take a look at our user guide, which you can access from our website.
Super quick, super simple tip. I reckon most of us probably knew that one, but you never know, do you? Do you like my new little bit of artwork here?
Yeah. I didn't realise there was a little countdown timer in the actual arrow. Which is you've got a really slow aeroplane and you're wondering, it's like how long have I got to go? And you scroll off the map. And then the little arrow is like, it's forever, mate.
It's a long time. So it's Thursday. That means that tomorrow is Friday, because I'm super sharp, and there's a weekend not far away. We all want to know what the weather's going to be like this weekend. So Simon couldn't join us live because he had some dull meeting he had to go to or something, but he did pre-record something and send it in. So here's Simon with his weather for the weekend.
Evening, everyone. Hope this evening finds you well and that you're looking forward to the weekend, which actually doesn't look bad for flying, but it does look as if we are going to be seeing some pretty strong winds. This is the forecast chart for Friday, and you can see the isobars close together. High pressure to the north, low pressure to the south. The result of that is that we get an east to northeasterly wind. Now that is going to be quite strong. Some broken cloud across the southern parts of England, across southern parts of Wales as well. Typical bases on that, probably around 2,000 to 4,000 feet. Could just be an odd spot of rain over high ground, but really I think it's going to be well broken. We'll find some sunny spells. Bits of cloud drifting onto the eastern coast of England as well, with the best of the sunshine across western Scotland, northwest England and much of Ireland. But those winds are going to be strong. Average speeds look to be between about 15 and 25 knots. And let me just show you this chart, which is the forecast wind gusts. Now, these are open ground, so they tend to be overestimated a little bit. Where you see the yellow colours is gusts of 30 knots or more, and you can see that across many southern western areas down eastern coast of the country as well, we're seeing those gusts more generally around 25 to 30 knots inland. Now for Saturday, isobars close together again, so again it's going to be a windy day. It's an easterly flow once again as well. Some cloud around, I think some low cloud in the morning across eastern parts of the country, but that will gradually burn back to the coast. So it looks as if most cloud is probably going to be around central and southern areas. You can see it here on the cloud base forecast. Those green colours indicated bases again of around 2,000 to 4,000 feet. So actually quite a fair day, but it's the winds that are the story again. These are the forecast wind gusts. Remember, yellow colours indicating 30 knots or more, and you can see that those sort of speeds affecting many parts of the south of the country, very strong through the channel, could be seeing gusts of up to 50 knots, so some really strong winds there. And then Sunday, well, what do you know, we've got more strong gusts of wind around. I think more cloud generally on Sunday, chance of 1 or 2 showers affecting northern parts of England, the Midlands, parts of Wales, eastern, getting into southern parts of England as well. Morning low cloud in the east once more. You see here on the cloud ceiling forecast those green colours again showing bases of 2,000 feet or above, and there's quite a few of those green colours around, so I think this is indicating that broken cloud. And there you see that yellow colour, orange colour coming into eastern coasts of England and across the northeastern coasts of Scotland, indicating their base of 1,000 feet or less. Best sunshine always out towards the west. Not quite so breezy on Sunday. I'd say means of around 15 to 18 knots for many of us, perhaps 20 knots in the east. And there you go with the gusts. You see that those yellow colours have abated. Typical gusts of around 20 to 25 knots, again, as an easterly. So, plenty of wind around through the course of this weekend. We talk about winds, we talk about lots more at Aviation Weather School. So, if you'd like to learn more about the weather, then get yourself along to Aviation Weather School Part 1. My next course, which I'm presenting entirely live online, is going to be held on the Saturday mornings of the 14th and 21st of May. It'll be super to see you there. Go to weatherschool.co.uk to find out more information and book your place now. And of course, I've got a weather school coming up this weekend. So if you're joining me for that, looking forward to meeting you. Get ready for a fab day of weather. Okay, I will leave you with that for now. Enjoy your fairly breezy weekend if you can. I should say early next week is looking pretty good for flying as well, with lighter winds. So do bear that in mind. Right, I'm definitely going now. Have a great evening. Thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now. See you later, folks. Bye.
And again, that was a... Sorry, Ed.
Completely on it tonight.
Yeah, just I'm 5 seconds late everywhere this tonight. Yeah, when you see,
I always feel more optimistic if Simon is wearing short sleeves. But then James says it just means he has the heating on.
He must be doing well if he can afford heating.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it just me, or when Simon puts that chart up, he goes, and if you look at the wind gust thing, and there's a whole load of like yellow blobs around it, and I was like, where the bloody hell's the outline of the UK in that?
Yeah.
I think it looks like some kind of weird number word search.
It's like one of those things that people buy in to be dismissed before they go on a long coach journey. Not that I've done that ever.
That's called the Times newspaper, isn't it? Anyway.
Right. Okay. On that note, thank you very much, Simon. We look forward to having you back at some stage so we can take the mickey out of you in person as I scroll slowly up to the news pictures and get them ready. I'm going to kick off the news with some sad news, and over to you, Dave.
Yes, this is a very sad news. Norman Surplus, who you may remember, is the first person to circumnavigate the world in a gyrocopter. Norman passed away on Tuesday, aged 59. His circumnavigation took a while, 9 years to be precise. He started in 2010, the second leg in 2015, and the third leg in 2019, alongside James Ketchell, who was also going around the world. So the reason why it was spread out like that was because Norman had, he was the first. He had various episodes along the way, including he wasn't allowed to go through Russia for 3 years. So it kind of stymied the whole project. Anyway, his book of the flight, which is called First Gyro, is in the final stages of going through the publication process and should be available soon. And if you go to the website called First Gyro, if you want to read it, you can order a copy there.
Yep, very sad. Very, very sad.
Jolly nice chap as well. I met Norman a couple of times. Jolly nice bloke.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's very sad. Very sad. Ed, what's happening next week?
More cheerful, well, slightly more cheerful news. It's Aero, finally. So Aero 2022 will take place next week, 27th to the 30th of April at the Purpose-Built Exhibition Centre adjacent to Friedrichshafen Airport. The big news there is there's no COVID restrictions in place. And the organisers have said rather than demanding rigorous hygiene and safety measures, the new regulations are all about individual responsibility for people placing themselves, avoiding placing themselves and others at risk. While mandatory use of face masks is omitted, we suggest wearing masks, but it's up to the individual. So we'll be there.
We will be there, and I can't wait. I should have thought about it when I ordered this Flyer clothing. I should have ordered some Flyer face masks as well, shouldn't I? Really?
Oh yeah.
But I didn't, so I got that one a bit late. I have to say, We're going to talk about Aero a little bit later, so I'm not going to say much about it now, but I'm very much looking forward to it. Ed, I think you've also got a little bit of news about that we just heard about probably half an hour ago. So no time for a picture or anything in here, but it's kind of like related-ish.
Yeah, because obviously you get a lot of electric news at Aero, and for once the UK has some electric news, and that's that the Light Aeroplane Company, who've been working on an electric version of their Sherwood Cub, so this is their E-Cub, that's flown today for the first time. So there will be a news story on the Flyer page probably tomorrow. But yeah, congratulations to TLAC for doing that. So I think that might be the first fully UK derived electric aeroplane to have been flown. I'm not sure.
I believe so. I was reading. This information just comes from the tweet, so but it came from the pilot, who was Guy Grattan, who people will probably know, who was at one point a long time ago Chief Technical Officer of BMAA.
Yep. Yes. And he's also featured in First Solo in the magazine this month.
Yeah.
Spookily. Featured in First Solo in the magazine this month. Well, there you go. He said it was a half. I didn't quite get the tweet, but it's a half-hour flight of which 10 minutes were in the air. So I guess there was 10-minute taxiing or 20 minutes worth of taxiing or whatever it was. Anyway, we'll get more information about that when we can. So congratulations to Paul Henry Smith at GLAC and to Guy Grattan for doing the E-Cub. So well done. Which next story is mine. Who recognises this guy?
Dun, dun, dun.
Perhaps it's easier. Perhaps you recognise him more if I show you this picture.
No, I still don't recognise him.
That is a chap called Trevor Jacob. Anyway, the FAA finally weighed in on Trevor Jacob, and I wrote this down. They came up with 9 different reasons, as far as I could tell, as to why this flight was pre-planned and against their rules. So he spent ages fitting multiple cameras to the aircraft, which, fair enough. A whole bunch of other people do that. He happened to, at the same time, also get on board wearing a sport parachute. A few people do that, not many. He opened the door before the engine actually failed. He didn't bother calling ATC when the engine did fail, if indeed it did fail. There was no attempt at a restart. There was no attempt at a forced landing, not even a look at, look, there's a nice big riverbed over there, I can go there. And then when he jumped out, spookily, he jumped out holding a selfie stick, which clearly we all do, don't we? After the crash, funnily enough, he recovered and disposed of the whole aeroplane, of the wreckage that was left, which is a little bit suspicious. And then he also recorded, went and got all of the footage back in the cameras and then posted that YouTube video about how I crashed my airplane. So the FAA decided that he was I don't know whether they decided he was guilty. They decided he was certainly endangering an aircraft and people. So who wants to guess, if you don't know already, what the FAA's punishment is for that?
Does he have to write "idiot" on his forehead in Sharpie for the next 9 years?
Indelible Sharpie. No, he doesn't have to write "idiot" on his forehead. And in fact, the FAA can't actually prosecute somebody else who does that. So the FAA's punishment, if that's the right word, for that list of 9 misdemeanors and for generally being a dick, is, I apologise for that a little bit, is his license has been revoked and suspended for 1 whole year. So he can't apply to get his PPL back for another year from the beginning of April. So there you go. Not a huge thing, is it, really?
No, but when it comes to get his PPL back, I'm sure no instructor is going to go near him. So,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I think there are other agencies who are looking at potential prosecutions there. So it might not be the end of the story. But I was kind of quite surprised it was only a year, basically, which I guess is similar to Martha Luncombe for flying under the bridge, isn't it? But I reckon that he did worse, personally. There you go, young Trevor.
Well, it'll be difficult for him to hire an aeroplane, I guess, in future.
Yeah. Mr. Jacob, do you have renter's insurance?
I don't need that. I jump out all the time.
Okay, so what's the next story? Johnny, you're up next.
Yeah, so there's a new documentary film telling the story of the Lancaster, which is set for release on the 27th of May. And if that date rings a bell, that's because it's the same day that Top Gun is being released. So we can all spend all day at the cinema on the 27th of May, which is great. So the documentary is all about the Lancaster. It's told through the last surviving crew members. It's got remastered archive footage, and it's got something that Top Gun doesn't have, which is footage from the legend John Dibbs. We all love his photography and videography, so it'd be really interesting to see some of the shots that he comes out with for that. So that's one chalk to the Lancaster documentary that Top Gun can't claim.
Well done, Lancaster. Well done. Yeah, I suspect it might. I suspect it might take less at the box office than Top Gun.
Yeah, as Aaron says, Aaron Lewington says, can't wait for that proper Top Guns.
Yeah, we should see if we can't find some art house cinema somewhere to show it and have a bit of a Flyer Club member evening.
That would be good.
Yeah, add that to your to-do list.
Oh, I've spoken to one. The trouble is the production company. They're hard to get anything out of. But yeah, we'll keep trying.
Yeah.
Come on, production company, pull your fingers up. We're trying to get people to come and watch your bloody film here. That's why you made it, isn't it? Come on, sort it out. It's a bit like the people at Duxford who we'll talk about later, isn't it? Let's organise a show, but not tell anybody. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Right, next thing in the news. What have we got? We've got some good news. Some spring solo winner picked.
Yes, so you might remember LAA announced that it was doing a spring solo bursary with poolies. The timeline was pretty short because it's all about helping a student get solo this spring. And they picked a winner. They had a whole bunch of entries, but in the end, it was Emily Malone from Tiptree in Essex, who receives the £1,500 to help her reach first solo. And she's already making a great job of being on her way, because she's something like 6 or 7 hours into her training. LAA got a whole bunch of entries from people from 14 all the way to someone who said that they were much more than Pooley's 65 years. But anyway, Emily's entry demonstrated a true love of flying that really resonated with LAA. And it's fair to say that we're all looking forward to hearing about her solo this spring.
Good on Emily, absolutely.
Did you read on the news story? Did you read the what she wrote about in answer to the question why do I fly? It's really inspiring. It's really inspiring, and we're going to have to sign her up as a writer because she's clearly got what it takes to convey enthusiasm.
Let's do that thing. Let's sign her up straight away. Let's get her on as a guest for a start. I thought she wanted to go solo. She could join the Flyer Club as our pilot.
I think that's in there somewhere.
Well done, Emily. Okay, Dave, it's over to you for the next story.
Right, next story. Yes, I've got the difficult one. The difficult one. This is a technical story which I may or may not understand. This is about what's called the HY4, which is a 4-seat aircraft with a hydrogen electric powertrain. And it has set a world record for altitude and also flown a 77-mile journey between its base at Stuttgart to Friedrichshafen, where it's going to be shown at next week's Aero event. It's produced by a developer of hydrogen fuel cell technologies for aircraft called H2Fly, Hydrogen to Fly. And this is its demonstrator aircraft. The flight from Stuttgart to Friedrichshafen, although it's not a long flight, 77 miles, but it's the first time a hydrogen electric passenger aircraft has flown between two major airports, apparently. So the HY4 will make its public debut at Aero. Up till now, it's been exclusively at its test area around Stuttgart Airport. Importantly, the 4-seat HY4 serves as a test platform to develop the propulsion system which will lead to a hydrogen electric powered 40-seat Dornier 328 airliner by 2025. It sounds like by 2025. It says they're going to have a
2025.
Yes, it's not necessarily going to be certified by 2025. Excuse me. But it's going to be flying. That's what they say. It sounds like a very similar project to Zero Avia, who are also working on a hydrogen electric fuel cell powertrain system, aiming to.
In a Dornier.
Yes.
Well, I don't want to be discouraging, and I like all of this stuff that's going on, and it's great that people are working. But I do find that when you get it's the first flight between two major airports in the entire world, then someone's gone and really, and it was 77 kilometers or something. Someone's gone and done a bit of, it's not, Do you know what I mean? Or is it just me being?
I know they're not big numbers, but you've got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
And you have to remember that the Wright brothers only did whatever it was, 128 feet on that first flight, didn't they?
Yep.
And I suppose, had they done 128 feet on that first flight between two major airports, they would have been even better off.
Or Orville would have turned to Wilbur and gone, who's created these airports that we don't know about?
I mean, it's not the fact that it's small numbers, it's the fact that it's small numbers, but they felt it necessary to add in between two major airports. I mean, whatever, who cares? It's the number. Yeah. Anyway, maybe everyone cares.
Yeah,
we are indeed. Let's be positive about this. Moving on to more positive stuff. There you go, Johnny.
Yeah, so Graham Naismith and Luke Christophides, who was on the live stream probably about 4 weeks ago now, they've set off on their charity flight, which is going to be about 7,500 miles. We don't know what they're doing in this picture, so guys, if you're watching, let us know. But the flight itself is called 35 to 70 because the route spans 35 degrees latitude in Greece to 70 degrees in Norway. And they departed earlier from Kitty Hawk down in East Sussex. They were going to take in Ukraine, Belarus and Russia, but they're now obviously not doing that. And they are raising money for Young Minds, which is a UK-based suicide prevention charity. So you can head over to our website. We can post a link in the comments, actually. I'll do that now. And you can find out more about it and get links to their website. So if you want to support them, you can.
Brilliant.
Excellent. Yeah. And if you happen to know, if you're if you're watching this and you can jump into the comments and let us know what they're actually doing in this photo, that would be great. We're intrigued and we'd like to know more. So,
it looks like, are they doing the Charleston? I don't know.
It could be, couldn't it?
No, they're pretending to be ninjas, aren't they?
Are they part of the? No, I don't know what ninjas you know, Johnny. But
yeah, well, only those two.
Are they part of the Marcel Marceau Appreciation Society?
Cool, excellent. Well, hot on the heels of your Dornier in 2025 and the 77 kilometers first passenger flight for 4 people for the H2 fly, we had a big announcement yesterday from Grant Shapps and Kwasi Kwarteng for the launch of the Zero Emission Flight Delivery Group in the UK. Something like, and I had to write this down and I can't read my writing, another 685 million to be given away, I guess, to encourage people to develop stuff like that over the next 3 years, all part of this net zero thing and all part of clearly the message today is that the UK is going to be the best in the world, the first in the world, biggest in the world, all of that kind of stuff you normally get. Anyway, the interesting thing is the person chairing the Zero Emission Flight Delivery Group is an old friend of Flyer that you may recognize, Rachel Gardner-Poole. Rachel Gardner-Poole was the second person to head up the GA unit at the Civil Aviation Authority after Tony Rapson founded it and got quite a bit done. Rachel was seconded away from the CA, went to work for the UK Space Agency, which sounds really exciting until you know that their offices are in Swindon, which makes it somewhat less exciting. But apart from that, she's now heading up the Zero Emission Flight Delivery Group. So we look forward to following that story and see what Rachel can deliver, whether she can deliver a Dornier by 2025 or better. So who knows? Well done, Rachel. We might even be able to get you on one day to talk about it. You never know.
Well,
you never know. Johnny.
Yeah, where's Mac? He's still in Heraklion, or the aircraft is at least. We don't know if he's still there, but the aircraft is still there on the tracker in Heraklion. So yeah, no further updates from him.
Will we start doing Where's Mac using the postcard service before too long?
Well, what can I say? Okay, I'm going to attempt to rearrange the screen before we move on. Am I right in thinking that it's time to move on to Thomas? So let me see if I can rearrange the screen and to get that working. Oh, it's in the wrong place.
There we go.
There you go.
Hi, hello, good evening.
Hello,
Good evening.
Thomas.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Can't wait for
Sorry.
Aero to start next week.
So Johnny normally does the interviews. I'm going to kick off with the first question, then hand over to Johnny, and then I'm just going to butt in and take the mickey, basically, or something like that. So Thomas Borchert, you're editor of Flieger magazine, based in Hamburg, Germany. You've been editor of Flieger magazine since roughly the Wright brothers made their first flight. A complete passionate pilot, as it were. And so tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your history, and then we'll move on to the reason we got you in, which is really to talk about Aero.
I started flying gliders about 40 years ago or so. Had nothing to do with aviation journalism, but always wanted to get into journalism after getting a physics degree. Did that and reported on science and computers and stuff quite a bit. Actually started reporting on computers in 1994, if anyone remembers. That's when the web got off the ground, so that was great timing. And then started at Flieger magazine in 2009, actually, so over 100 years after the Wright brothers, if I may say so. And been there ever since, love it. The combination of flying and journalism is just my thing, although it ruins the hobby of flying a little bit.
Yes, that is sadly true. And I think it would be fair to say that Thomas Borchett is a very good friend of Flyer, and hopefully we're good friends of his, so we can make it work.
Definitely are.
Now, I'm just going to try, this is, Ed, I'm not sure if this is going to block you out.
Yes. Hang on.
I'll come back to, I wonder how I can do this. There you go.
I'll put my head here. Here we go. There we go.
There you go. So we're going to talk about Aero, and this is kind of our Aero preview show, really. And our Aero coverage is brought to you due to a partnership with Continental Aerospace Technology, who's very kindly supported everything that we're going to be doing next week. Next week, we're going to hope to bring you live text updates to the website, live photography updates, live video or recorded video, depending on the bandwidth we can get there. We're going to figure out how we can do this show somehow next week. Not quite sure about that. It will probably involve beer of some kind. But this time next week, we will be at Aero, enjoying ourselves and working very hard. So yeah, let's leave the layout like this. Let's thank Continental Aerospace Technology once more. Thank you. And let's have a chat about Aero. So Johnny.
I've got a question for Thomas. I've got one first question. So I've never been to Aero before. So what tips, what advice, what things do I need to do and see? Give me some ideas.
Well, it's much easier to manage than Oshkosh if you've been there. It's basically easy. Have a look around. There's the A halls that have all the the fully certified aircraft, whereas the B halls tend to have more ultralights, as we call them here. Is that the same in the UK? Is it ultralights, microlights? I never get the hang of that.
Microlights
then, which are big and about as big as all the rest of it. So it's about half and half. There's a ton of conferences, workshops, seminars, panel discussions that you can go to. You can basically spend your whole time doing those. And it's the biggest general aviation show in the world, I would say, if you don't count AirVenture, which is more of a mix between, a proper trade show and an air show and a get together and a Woodstock type event.
Yeah, that's a bit like Jeff Bezos saying, "I'm the richest guy in the world," as long as you don't count Elon Musk, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is, and it isn't.
But I know what you mean, though, Thomas, because Aero is all about new stuff, isn't it? A lot of Oshkosh is all about the fly-in as well, isn't it? But Aero is all about the trade.
Yeah, there's no air show to divert you away from new stuff.
No.
No. It's a spectacular event, and it's just brilliantly organised, and they have absolutely fantastic facilities there. So if you haven't been, make sure you get yourself over. But if you're going to get yourself over this year, make sure you got a ticket in advance, because I believe there are no tickets on the day this year.
Well, there are no like cashiers booths where you can get tickets, but you can kind of pull your cell phone right in front of the doors, get your online ticket, and then march in. So that's not a biggie. The thing that's not brilliantly organized is flying in yourself. That's a nightmare. It's a slot system, and that slot booking system was revamped this year and crashed on day one. They have like, I don't know, maybe a handful of planes they let in 1 hour or in 1/2 hour. I don't know. It's ridiculous. And the reason is not so much the trade show organizers, but rather the German authorities.
I hear that I heard from someone who was trying and struggling to get a slot booked as soon as it went, because there was quite a lot of people in the UK who were complaining about it. I hear that the organisers or whoever it was so embarrassed by it that when they did get a slot booked, they gave them free tickets for everybody in the airplane as well.
Yeah, yep. That's what they did. That was the new software system, which had its moments apparently, but other than that, the complaints are the same every year. It's too few slots, too much regulation. And I mean, let's keep in mind all those approaches in Oshkosh that we hear about. I mean, it all starts with the authority, the FAA, saying throw all the rules overboard and just be creative. And I think neither the UK authorities nor the Germans would ever do something like that.
Well, to be fair, air traffickers are not necessarily known as a hugely creative group. I'm going to upset quite a few of them there, but that kind of creative and air trafficker Venn diagram has not got a massive overlap, has it? Normally. No. Sorry, air traffickers, artists out there. Let's move on before I get myself in trouble. Okay, let's just go round. Thomas, what's the one thing you're looking forward to the most seeing at Aero?
That's a $1 million question, right? I think I want to have a look at that VL3 with a turboprop. So that's a microlight with a turboprop engine that they just flew probably in the Czech Republic where it's built. So
okay.
It does seem like that a lot of people are going with turbines this year, because Bristol have gone with this. They've surprised us by saying, "Hey, we've got one too."
Yeah.
Is that your entry, Ed, for the turbine, for the Bristol turbine, the thing you're most looking forward to seeing, or?
Probably not. I'm intrigued to see if it uses, and I presume it uses the same engine as the JMB VL3 turbine, which looks a whole lot. I'm sorry about this, Bristol, but the JMB does look really, really pretty.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the thing you're looking forward to then, Ed?
I'm hoping that Tecnam will show their H3PS hybrid that they reported on. There was a whole bunch of flights with it last year, and they've been very, very slim in kind of talking about the things that they've done with the project, but it's kind of reached fruition. But this is a hybrid. It uses a Rotax and a Rolls-Royce electric motor. And the combination replaces an equivalent Lycoming, so a 200 horsepower Lycoming engine, but is something like 30% more efficient. And it clearly points at future potential for power plants for the future. And it would just be great to see that. So hopefully...
Yeah, same here. But that would be great. But from what I tried to find out whether it'll be there. So far, they all told me that it won't. Although all three companies that you mentioned that are involved with it are present at the show and are exhibiting. So it's kind of weird.
Maybe Tecnam will just want to make people excited with their P Mentor.
Yeah.
We ran a competition to find the worst name for their own aircraft. And we came up with P Mentor.
Yes.
Johnny.
DA50 for me. I'm assuming there'll be one there. I'd just love to. It looks amazing in photos. I'd just love to see it in person, sit in it, smell it, touch it, everything.
Now, you say that, but I happen to know when we were having a conversation yesterday or the day before that you said one of the things you were looking forward to, this was yesterday, I believe, was the fact that in most people's general aviation experience, you just get to see used aircraft at airfields, and you were interested in seeing some really new aircraft, and you really wanted to go and sniff them all. Is that right?
Yeah, basically, yes.
Basically.
Appreciate all that coachmanship that goes into interiors and
great point. Yeah.
So I do apologise in advance to all of you exhibitors at Aero Expo. If you see Johnny walking around in his flyer uniform like this, with his cap on backwards, sort of sniffing aircraft, that's Johnny. It's just because he hasn't seen many new aircraft before.
That's it, and he's really appreciating that new aeroplane smell.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Having spent the last month with my hands covered in oil and dirty and just smelling horrible, I'm after a new aeroplane smell.
Dave.
Well, there's not one thing I'm looking forward to. What I love about going to Aero and Friedrichshafen is that it's a beautiful area. It's a stunning part of Germany, and it's also the time of year when it's at its best. I think there's not crowded. There's not a huge numbers of people there, but it's warm. Temperatures are picking up. The show itself is so brilliantly organised. And apart from the slot system, but otherwise the show is beautifully organised, and you just wander around the various halls. I'm usually there reporting, so I've usually have an agenda to people I want to see and have a word with, and so you get to meet all the industry, you get to meet other journalists, it's the industry coming together, and I also like having lunch at Friedrichshafen. I go and have a typical German. I don't go into the press lunch. I go into the cafe and have a Wiener Schnitzel and those funny little pasta things, spargel or something it's called.
That's asparagus, isn't it? Spargel.
No, it's
that's asparagus. Yeah.
Spätzle, isn't it?
Spätzle.
Spätzle. There you go. Yes.
So I like embracing the whole German experience and try and use some dreadful German on people.
Tom, are you bringing your leather trousers?
Who, me?
I'm not. That's a southern German thing. I'm from Hamburg, way up north. We don't do that kind of thing. No. But I'm surprised. Nobody's saying Junkers A50.
Oh, that's
yes.
Yeah. No, that's a great one. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
That's just anyone who doesn't know what the A50 is. That's the 2-seat tandem ultralight. Is that right? 200,000 euros or something.
Which I still think is a great. I know it's 200,000 euros, but for something so beautifully crafted with such lovely stuff, I think that's a bargain.
Yeah,
it's wonderfully crafted. I've seen it up close. It's with these what do you call it? Corrugated. Or what do you call that? That type of. Corrugated sheet metal, and which Junkers invented for airplanes, obviously, and that's a fascinating piece of workmanship. I mean, it's really amazing.
Yeah, I think that's gorgeous.
Yes. Are you hoping to fly it, Thomas? Because I know you've had good access to the Junkers recreations in the past, haven't you? So.
I think similar to that. The one thing I'm looking forward to is really looking through all the B halls to get an appreciation for all of the. I'm kind of hoping that all of the B halls are going to be rammed full of 600 kilogram microlight, ultralight projects. That many of which that we hope we'll see in the UK. So I'm really looking forward to see how kind of the whole industry has dealt with that, because I still think that is going to be a fantastic move for general aviation to have a whole bunch of really good 600 kilogram 2-seat aircraft with low direct operating costs, hopefully great handling, great safety, and great aircraft. So I'm really looking forward to that side of things. It's always, those B halls are always pretty inspirational. You get a whole bunch of things that you look at and you go, what drugs have they been taking? But there's a whole bunch of stuff that's really good as well. So I'm looking forward to that. In terms of the certified stuff, though, the Diamond press conference, that's always great value. It's kind of somewhere between corporate speak and stand-up comedy, isn't it?
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to have changed, because the last ones we remember were still with CEO Christian Dries, who kind of brought Diamond to what it is today. And
Yeah.
he stepped out and made room for the new Chinese owners, and I wonder how that's going to go.
We had one with Frank, the new CEO, did do the presentation in 2019, didn't he?
I think so. Yes.
Yes, but nothing will ever come close to. I think it was 2017 when Christian stood up and said, "Oh, we're going to make a diesel-powered helicopter."
And you look at the back when it's got all of the Diamond employees stood up against the wall, and they're all looking like, huh?
Yeah.
And then he went, I think it was then he went, okay, and maybe then we'll make a tilt rotor.
Yes. Which he also announced one year, didn't he?
He did, indeed. And they're all going like, oh, what is going on next?
What year was the DA50 first at Aero? Was that 2011, 12 maybe? With a completely different engine, and then it went through the Tundra tires Russian turbine thingy phase.
That was called the Magnum, wasn't it? Was the DA50 Magnum? Didn't have it like 350
Yes.
horsepower?
Yeah. There must have been a Rotex powered version too. There usually is, and yeah. But now it's become a real airplane.
Yeah,
and a very pretty one.
Yeah.
That's a controversial description of the use of the word "pretty" there, Thomas.
Yes, well, interesting. Let's put it that way. Interesting.
It's a well crafted aeroplane, isn't it? It's functional. Maybe not beautiful, maybe not Italian beautiful, but it is. It does the job, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, I take back the pretty.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Looking through the list of press conferences that we've got to go to, I see we've got one coming up on the 28th, which I think is a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, which is from Flight Design. So it'd be interesting to see what they have to say, because their press conferences always win the award for being the most. They look on things as positively as possible. So I remember sitting in one and went, oh yeah, we're going to have 100 horsepower Rotax. It's going to do 160 knots and 1,200 nautical miles on 3 gallons an hour or something. But so they're always kind of like quite positive about this. So I'm looking forward to see what they've got to announce. Sanaka's always good because they generally bring Belgian beer. Sorry?
Obviously, Flight Design has the huge problem that their manufacturing facility was in Ukraine, in eastern Ukraine to boot. So that's going to be their main focus. Not necessarily at the press conference, but definitely in everyday's work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, all in all, jolly good. And once more, I'd like to thank Continental Aerospace Technology for making our reporting next week possible. Okay, looking at the time, it's nearly 8:15, so it's probably time we moved on to...
Ed wins.
Another high-quality production. Ed.
It's not always a guaranteed thing.
No, I'm sure I had one last week.
What are we doing then, Ed?
Yes. So it's time for Fancy Hangar. And because last week's theme of aeroplanes from Bond movies went down so well, this week we thought, hey, let's pick aeroplanes from the whole world of film. So knowing that there's some incredible cinematic masterpieces out there that combine aeroplanes and films, what did we pick?
Well, it seems that this week I appear to be first on the list. So hopefully when it comes to the time to all of you to vote, you'll remember this one. I've got a little video of it. It's probably about, it's a minute long. I apologize for that. So I hope you enjoy it. This is my choice. And surprisingly, for those of you who know what I think about it, my choice is a Maul. Absolutely.
Wow.
Well,
good. A Maul. Who wouldn't want a Maul after that? It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? But Reynolds flying it, obviously. He did all his own stunts, I believe. Not. Covington, Georgia, that was filmed in. And apparently they had to go around chopping a whole load of telegraph poles and stuff down in order to make it happen. And it probably won't surprise you at all to hear that airplane was actually damaged during the first landing, or one of the landings while they were shooting that. And Ed's got a theory that that airplane, that very same airplane, lives in the county of Wiltshire, not a million miles from me now.
That's, if social media is to be believed, then the people at Draycott Farm apparently believe it is with them. So
we need to find out if that's true, and if it is true, we need to go and take it to the streets of Devizes and reenact that scene.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay, well, maybe we need to. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Who's next?
Right. It's Dave next. I just need to scroll away from videos. Do we need to go on? Can we just have like Ian wins?
Not yet.
Please. Okay, Dave.
Right. So it's got a slight mission to make here. But anyway, mission. First of all, this aeroplane was in a film called The World According to Garp, which is based on a novel by John Irving and starred Robin Williams as the Garp character. And the particular scene where the aeroplane is going to come up in pictures, when Garp and his wife are viewing the house with the intention to buy it, when the aircraft crashes into the side of the house. Now, Garp views it as good because it means the house has been pretty disastered, and therefore, by the law of averages, shouldn't be hit by disaster again. The stills show the scene crashing into the house, and it's credited as Super Cub. But the more observant amongst you will notice that it doesn't look very much like a Super Cub. Perhaps somebody could positively identify it. Looks a bit like a Citabria.
I think that looks like an Aronka Champ to me.
Yeah, I think that's a 7AC Champ. That would be my guess.
That's it. Yeah. It makes me worry. If you get taken in by the this is a Super Cub thing, if you believe what's on the internet, it's like internet scammers. Please do not target Dave. Please don't make him think that he's got a rich cousin who's left him £50 million, and all he needs to do is respond to an email.
You can believe what you read on the internet as long as you're reading it as www.flyer.co.uk, and you can join for just £30 a month at the moment.
How did you know about my friend in Africa? Oh, anyway, although it's not a Super Cub in the movie, every fantasy hangar needs a Super Cub. That's what I think.
Very good.
Well, it does, but that wasn't. every fantasy hangar needs a Sherman tank, so I've got a picture of it.
But that was a film I wasn't aware of, Dave. Thank you.
Ed, you're up next.
There we go. You signed up for the New Flyer Club for whatever that value is. Is it me next?
It is.
Okay, well, for me, there was only one choice. It's possibly the best flying sequence in a feature film, only because it's really lovely, and it's certainly one of the longest single flying sequences you'll see in a feature film, and it's the DH Gypsy Moth from Out of Africa. It's a 1985 film. It's an American romantic drama film produced by famous director Sidney Pollack, stars Meryl Streep as Karen Blix and Robert Redford as Dennis Finch Hatton. It won 7 Oscars. It would have been 8 if there had been one for the best flying sequence. There's a video of the flying bit online, which I'll stick in the comments. The absolute best bit, though, is Blixen is out on her farm, and Hatton lands, and she comes running up to him, and he says, "Jump in." And he says, and as she jumps on board, she says, "When did you learn to fly?" And he shouts, "Yesterday," and off they go. It's okay. I think he had got in his 3 takeoffs and landings within the last 90 days. But anyway, 3.5 minutes of fabulous flying. It's a John Barry musical score. The landscapes are enormous. The moth is small. And there's a scene where the moth gets flown over thousands of flamingos who are all somewhat startled and all take off and become airborne. The moth's still around today. It's came up for auction in 2020 and apparently is now living in Africa. So anyway, if you want to check that out, it's I guarantee you it's tremendous. It's worth watching, and it's in the comments.
But it's not as good as them all. Just remember that. Johnny.
So I picked a film from 1959. It's got Cary Grant starring as Roger Thornhill and Eva Saint as Eve Kendall. And there's a very famous scene of a biplane. Oh, here we go. Yes, exactly. A biplane chasing him across the fields. Now, I always assumed from that angle that this was a Stearman, but it isn't. It's obviously it's a Naval Aircraft Factory N3N Canary. Apparently, it was November 45091, and it ended up in the side of a petrol tanker in the film. But I thought that would be everybody's seen it. It's an iconic moment in movie history. I think that would be a really interesting airplane to have sat tucked away in the fancy hangar somewhere. I think possibly not the most quickest and most dynamic, and doesn't look as gorgeous as Ed's perhaps, but still one from movie history that I think could be remembered.
I reckon that you're right, though. It must be the most possibly misunderstood aeroplane scene, where pretty much all aeroplane people probably go, "Oh, must be a Stearman."
I was reading when I was doing a little bit of research around the mall thing. I was reading some forum where they had been talking about it in the past, not the Flyer forum, an American forum. And about halfway down one of the pages of post, there was someone going, I'm going to have to write to someone about that. That's just really dangerous kind of flying. We shouldn't be encouraging that kind of thing at all. It was really, and there was like another, oh yes, absolutely. I'm glad somebody else said that. I've been thinking that. And I was thinking, oh man, what are those people like? Fun sponges or what? I mean, obviously you don't get, it's a movie. Don't go out and do it in real life, but it's a fun movie, for God's sake. Thomas.
Yeah, I had way less time to prepare for this. Yeah. I'm going to try to trump Cary Grant with Kirk Douglas. How about that? The Final Countdown is one of my favorite movies. It's a little bit sci-fi, if anyone knows it. And the F-14 Tomcat plays a huge role in that. And I've always wanted one of those.
And this, I think I'm right in saying, Thomas, that this is where basically a portal opens up that puts very modern day American jets on a carrier in the middle of Pearl Harbor, isn't it?
The day before Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
And it's the USS Nimitz. The whole battle group goes kind of back in time, and they try to decide what to do. And they capture a Japanese pilot and blah, blah, blah. It's fun. Yeah, way more fun than, and I'm going to get in trouble for this, way more fun than Top Gun, where the F-14 obviously also plays a tremendous role. But that's, in comparison, that's a stupid movie.
Yeah,
there, I said it.
Darren Lewington is with you, says Thomas edges it.
Thank you very much, Darren.
Okay.
And Adrian Norris has pointed out a fair point here. Isn't it kind of unfair that Ian gets a video just because he's in charge, while everyone else gets to describe their movie scenes? And
while on that topic, the favorite scene in that movie is some senator from the 1944, 41, obviously. He's out in his yacht around Hawaii. And then the F-14 goes in low, very fast flight right over the top of him, and he goes, "I'm in the weapons committee. Why don't I know of these? Is that one of ours?" It's really funny.
I remember that. That was very good.
To be fair, Adrian, yeah, I do. It's not because I'm in charge, just because I happen to upload the pictures. But Johnny uploaded his own pictures. He could have uploaded a video, and anyone else could have uploaded their own video. It's just that I guess they didn't want to, really. And I felt that the Mighty Maul, in this particular example, I enjoyed that clip.
Yeah, it's a much better story when we can use Adrian's comment to make it seem like you're unfair.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. It's unfair. So on that basis, have I won?
Yes. Well, not necessarily. Kia Williams says, I picked Mustangs flown by the Hannahs in Empire of the Sun. Paul Fraser Benison says, any aircraft from Magnificent Men in Their Flying Machines. That is a good film. Marcus Clark has gone for something from TV, not quite on topic, but Spitfire flying under the bridge in Piece of Cake. Very good. Ian Wynn says Kia Williams.
Can you pull in Nick, please? There's a comment by Nick. Can you pull that one in? Nick Allen?
Where is it?
Almost at the top.
Here we go. I found it.
There we go. It was Ian until Thomas agreed with me.
Thank you very much.
There we go. Peter Griswold says the Nats in Hot Shots. That's quite good. Yeah, that is very funny. Ian gets it for a more. Thomas wins. What else have we got?
David, you couldn't land an F-14 at Easter.
You could work on the runway at Easter.
I flew a rare non-tail dragger version.
Don't tell anybody, Charlie. Keep it quiet.
Yeah. Johnny's dad votes for Johnny. But Johnny also gets an approval from Paul Cadell. Same from Mark Litherland. Johnny's is iconic. I think it could be Johnny this time. Darren Lewington reminds us that Flight of the Phoenix, the actual Phoenix, which they made from the tail cone of a C-119, I think it was.
Yeah.
Up until that point, I was doing quite well. Ed wins so far, but against a fairly lackluster field.
Hello?
Johnny had better be good, otherwise Ian wins.
Well, yeah. I think probably Johnny just edges it, doesn't he?
That's it. Jane Gifford said, I watched the film in 1986, don't remember the aircraft. And there's a good reason to rewatch it. There we go. And there's a vote for Dave. There's 2 votes for Dave. Captain says, leave Dave alone. We like him. And Dave wins by default for Super Cup, even if it wasn't the Super Cup.
It wasn't a Super Cup. Although, frankly, flying a Super Cub into a building would probably improve its handling, wouldn't it?
F-14 wins. Ian, because he never wins. You can't vote for Ian just because he never wins.
Fair enough. Right. Okay, where are we? We are got about 2.5 minutes to go. So let's just have a quick one on events. Dave.
Right. So coming up on events this weekend, there's the GA Day at Duxford on Saturday. The one that nobody knows much about because anyway. So that's on a Saturday. On a Sunday, there's a very nice flying at Henstridge. This is the Wessex Strut, the LAA Strut, flying at Henstridge. It's always a nice event, nice place to go. You do have to PPR. They don't want you just doing flying straight in. Of course, next week, we've already talked about it, Aero, 27th to the 29th of April. And immediately after we come back, the following weekend, which we've yet to discuss and work out, is the Popham Microlight Trade Fair on the Saturday and Sunday. So I've already floated the idea past my other half. I come back from Germany on the Friday evening, late. And then on Saturday morning, I go to Popham. Where are you going? Are you going to an aircraft event? Oh, right. That's good.
You could just not go home. You could just go straight to Popham.
I think that would probably be the right idea, actually.
Probably would be the right idea. I hear there's a nice travel lodge near Popham, so
yeah.
Good. Johnny.
Yeah, so new website's live. For those of you, there we go. Join today, £30. It's going to go up soon. We've not quite decided the date, but sometime in the next probably 3 to 4 weeks, it will go up to £52 a year. So you can get it now for just £30 for a full year of loads of great content and all the member benefits like discounts, landing vouchers, all of that kind of stuff. So just go to, and the website's changed now. It's flyer.co.uk/membership. So that's the URL that you need, and we'll pop that in the comments. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and generally, what's the other word? Comment. Yes. Like, comment, and subscribe on our videos. It helps us.
And hit the bell. You have to hit the bell as well. Like, subscribe. And I think if you're young, you say smash that bell, but we just want you to click the bell. That's absolutely fine with us. I think that's about it. So thank you very much, Thomas, for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in person next week for Aero. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Thank you, team, for doing a great job. And we will see you all. Well, I'm not sure we'll see you all next Wednesday for the members only live stream extra, because I'm not sure where we're going to be. We'll see what bandwidth we can get and how we can maybe make that happen. If we possibly can give you a little walk around Aero, we might see if we can borrow some of Thomas's bandwidth or something like that. I don't know. We'll see what we can figure out. But otherwise, we'll see you next week sometime. Hopefully, we'll see you at Aero. If you see us at Aero, come and say hello, and we'll see. If not, we might see you. Well, who knows where we see you? Maybe Dave might even see you at Popham. On that basis, thank you very much, everyone. Have a great weekend. Fly safely, and catch you all soon. Don't forget, subscribe, join, become a member.